Hello and welcome to the Illogical Universe podcast. I'm your host, as always, Kyle Kilopillo Barrett, and I'm joined, as ever, by my co-host,
Turtle Beach, PX24, Superhero Human Hearing, Virtual. Wow, I cannot.
He's just Kaiser Sozeing words off of my headphone box over there.
Well, I have the same ones, remember?
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't understand why you don't just know it verbatim at this point.
Because mine's hidden behind a.
Did you hear me mess up
desk.
my own last name?
No, I did not.
Yeah, it was my last name is apparently Bear. Because it's been a while since we've recorded. It's been like, what, almost 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute because Jim finally got a job.
Well, not a new job. I just went back to doing construction again.
Yeah, I know, but you got a job.
Yeah.
You're going to a job. You know what? Semantics, boy.
This week, I dug out a pit for a new sub pump.
Dug out.
It sucks. Bad.
Does it? Why does it suck?
Because you have to break up 6 inches of concrete, which, whatever. We call it, if you've done that before, it's not that hard. But then you also have to dig out gravel, which that gets worse. Then you have to dig out gravel mixed with clay, which gets worse. Then add the fact that this house's sub pump had been out of commission for about a couple of years. So the house was a fucking boat. So I'm digging through water every fucking 15 minutes. I'm putting the pump back in to take out some of the water, and just repeating this process over and over again.
I just enjoy how many times you said like dug out in that entire monologue.
Yeah,
because 90s porn terms. That's like the cornerstone of our show is pornography and like what petty racism, comic books, video games, and so on.
Yeah.
But we do have some sad news to get to, which is, if you haven't heard by now, Don Rickles passed away. That's a huge blow to both of us. He was a huge inspiration, will always be one of the greats. He's on both of our, I would assume he's on our Mount Rushmore of comedy, which we talked to Matt Drufke about. He is 100% up there. He's in Thomas Jefferson's place for me, which for me, that's like the best place. So with his passing, we just wanted to say that
the
it was sad and
world
to rest in
can't
peace.
laugh as hard.
Yes. And if you guys want to hear our thoughts, we actually had gone and saw him perform in Vegas about, 2 years ago, a year ago?
Something like that.
Which is episode 30. If you guys want to hear us gush about him for a good hour, just look up episode 30 of our show, and that's where it's all at.
Which brings about a sad question.
Yes.
Who do we have to see next?
That is a really sad question. Apparently not Charlie Murphy. Ooh,
Yeah.
that was too soon.
Which I saw a great meme.
That one's a tingly one.
I saw a great meme. It was first thing Charlie Murphy sees when he gets into heaven. Charlie Murphy! Bam!
Yeah,
Just
punches him.
Yeah.
That's another sad one, though. I'm going to miss him, too.
I didn't that was the whole thing. Was like you talked about from watching play Black Jesus. We call it. I didn't watch the show, but like I had no idea that he had leukemia. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't think he came public about it, but like you could tell if you kind of kept up with what was going on with him.
Yeah.
Like you could see him get thinner and thinner. So like something was going on. Not to piss people off, but I thought it was probably like a drug thing because that made more sense to me because I didn't think he was sick.
Well, he came up during the 80s.
So what are the two reasons people generally drop a lot of weight?
Drugs or cancer.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like, I had a 50-50 shot. I really did not think he was, like, had leukemia, so I was like, oh, he's probably doing blow, right, or something like that,
Yeah.
which would make sense to me because, like, a lot of comedians are addicted to drugs. Okay, like, everyone just needs to get over that. But another sad passing, I'm going to miss him, too.
There's a lot of talk about that, it's like some of the greatest ones were huge drug addicts. Even like comedians will talk about their like Maron talks about that one guy that was a huge heroin addict.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call it, Carlin did coke for years. Fucking, we call it, God damn it.
I'm not going to help you. Kinnison?
No. But Kinnison did coke, didn't he?
They all did something.
Well, yeah, they're 80s, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really like, I don't know. It's not really like a question to me. It would be weirder to find out that a comedian didn't do drugs at some point.
Live at the Met.
Robin Williams.
Thank you. I kept going. Bill Murray. No.
You had Williams. You were right the first time.
No, I didn't have that. That was just his. I kept going to Bill Murray for some reason. I'm like, no, that's wrong.
Who to see next?
Yeah.
Lewis Black.
You're not even that big of a fan of him.
I know.
I would say
Ron White.
Yeah, Ron White's actually really good.
I could honestly see Bill Burr giving himself a heart attack.
That's the whole thing is, like, Ron White, I could see him mysteriously dying in a plane crash because he owns his own plane.
Which would be ironically delicious.
Yeah.
Like,
we call it, not that he flies the plane either. You know?
Do you know who I am worried about, though, Speaking of that, I actually just watched his Crawford. Lavelle.
Oh, Lavelle? Yeah.
Because of his weight. And
He's gotten it under control a little bit because
Does
he
he?
was
Okay,
he was in a movie, a Robin Williams movie, and he had looked like he had lost quite a bit.
Good for him.
We call it.
But like when I last saw him, which was his stand up.
Yeah, like
oh my fucking god, that is
right
one
after.
of
I think it was right after Last Comic Standing.
the. Oh my god, that was so good.
Yeah, that is. I love that special. The other one for me would be Madigan.
Yeah.
One of the like she's not that old, but like she like with her drinking and stuff like that, she has really started to age. We call it like it's so fast. We call it because I remember the first time I saw her, 5 years ago? She looked young. I thought she was at most in her mid-30s. It's no longer the case. I think she like caught up with her age.
Could be.
Yeah.
Jeez. I'm trying to think of like comedians who I think are on the brink of death. Because there's got to be one more. Someone has to go, right? It goes in threes.
Yeah.
So you've got Rickles, then you've got Charlie Murphy.
Well, I mean, Bob Newhart.
What about like Tucker? He just started coming back.
Chris Tucker?
Yeah, what if he
I
just started
have
coming
no
back?
interest.
No, just that's not the point. Okay. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, Jeff?
Yes.
That's all I would do. Right? Like if you went to a Chris Tucker concert, is do Rush Hour.
The whole thing?
Both movies, go. There's 3 of them. All 3 movies.
What was it?
Do you know what sucks though is he used to be really funny. Like I mean like actually like stand up funny.
He have a movie with Charlie Sheen?
Well, he also was in Friday.
Yeah.
As Smokey.
Well, no, there was the one with him and we call it in Somebody for All About the Benjamins. That was Tucker, wasn't it?
In All About the Benjamin, it's either. I always get it confused with Martin Lawrence, which I know that they're
no, that was
Mike
similar.
Epps. They're nothing similar, but it's like the time period. Like I can never keep it straight because Bad Boys was Lawrence, right?
Yes,
and then Epps took over for Tucker in the Friday series.
Ugh.
Right? Well, no,
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Yes, that is
trying
true.
to remember it. Yeah, and then what happened? What else did Lawrence do besides Nothing to Lose, which is an amazing fucking movie?
Is. But I swear to God, there was like a Diamond Heist movie or something like that, and Chris Tucker.
Tower Heist.
No, older, like 90s, early 2000s.
A Diamond Heist movie.
But like, I swear to God, it was Chris Tucker and a white guy. By the way, I got to school a black chick the other day.
Very proud of you.
No. I cannot remember who it was. But I said this. No. Hear me out. We call it. I was sitting there and I'm like, God. I was talking to her about some actress. Oh, the chick from the Robot Show.
The Robot.
The
show.
HBO Robot Show.
Mr. Robot.
No.
Mr. Robot. Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld. I was like, God damn, that chick looks like Jada Pinkett Smith. I think it was her. Anyways, we call it, and she's like, that's fucking racist. I'm like, no, it's not. They fucking look alike. We call it, and she's like, that's bullshit. That's racist. I'm like, pull up 2 pictures. And I was fucking right.
Jada Pinkett Smith being Will Smith's wife.
What?
Oh, God. The phones are revolting.
I didn't even know I had the voice search on my phone.
I think the best thing in the world about that entire thing you just did, though, was that it's like, she's like, that's racist. No, it's not. And I'm like, well, that might not be racist, but you going, hey, I got to school a black chick yesterday is pretty fucking racist.
I don't think it is.
It's pretty racist.
How so?
It is. It just is. It's not like, clan racist, but it is like a racist statement because there is no reason for you to have to tell the audience that they were black other than because they were.
But she was.
I know. That's the whole thing. That's the debate, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion, if you don't have to, and you do.
But it made sense because it was a black chick claiming that I was being racist against black people.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have to do that. You could just say somebody's claiming you're being racist. It doesn't matter what color you are, right? I don't know.
I thought it was just a part of the
I
detail
don't care.
of the
I just
story.
think it's funny because I guarantee you there's a segment of people that's like, well, that's a racist statement, James.
I don't see it.
And they said James because racists don't do.
I could see it out with some
Jim.
people, like the mere mention of color is racist.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't fucking...
Or the mere mention of color without sufficient backing or sufficient reasoning for it. Which sufficient reasoning would be subjective from person to person anyway. So, but whatever, doesn't matter. Actually, let's address that real quick. We have a listener who's been with us who actually donates to our Patreon, like all of you should. Patreon.com/logicaluniverse. Throw money at us, do it. But anyway, so she does it, and I had asked if she had any questions for us, and one of them that she wanted us to talk about was whitewashing in movies. And fuck you, we're not doing that. Because I know what everyone's talking about. I know what everybody has up in arms about it. And Jim knows, too. We all know the fucking movie that came out. But I'm going to tell you two things. One, the movie sucks because the original anime is garbage. So who cares?
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
My pops asked me if he should go see it. He's a fan of Blade Runner and stuff like that. I saw Blade Runner way too late. So it didn't have the same effect on me. But... for a fan of Blade Runner that doesn't know anything about the series, maybe it'll be good for you.
Yeah.
But, I did not like the anime, so I have no interest in the fucking movie.
When 90% of your movie is explaining to you why things are happening in your movie, it's not a good movie.
No.
Okay, because at least Blade Runner, even though it's confusing, self-contains its story and presents it in an interesting, forward-thinking way. Whereas, I'm just going to say, Ghost in the Shell, in the anime... stops itself from moving forward so a scientist can explain to you for 20 minutes what's going on because they're assuming you didn't watch or read the manga or whatever. Mm-hmm. Akira does it too, but Akira doesn't do it as much. And
I wasn't that big of a fan of Akira either.
But I'm explaining the difference because people have asked me if I like Akira, why do I hate Ghost in the Shell? And this is part of it.
Akira.
Yeah, I know. There's always that, but
that's the only part I love.
My favorite part is the way that Americans are portrayed on Harleys as giant fat clowns that are driving. I always just love. It's like that's just. I'm like, that's just in your face. Like fuck America stuff. I love it. But anyway, But the difference is that Akira does do that, but it doesn't do it as much. And about, I don't know, would you say like a fourth of the way through the movie, the people who are writing the screenplay for Akira just stop giving a shit if you get it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like a fourth of the way through, they just went, this is, fuck it. Let's just, we'll just go to the end. Fuck if they get it.
One with a kind of, I could see how some people would find it confusing as they added more and more characters was Elfin Lied. We call it that, but they did a good job of spacing out the the fucking explanation.
Yes.
So we call it. I love that anime and I have no issues with it. So yeah.
I came into the middle of Evangelion. I still say that is the most confusing thing I've ever done in my life, and I shouldn't say the middle. I mean the middle end.
Well, see, the one I watched from beginning to what the hell was it called? It was something about everyone thought it was this kid with this bent golden bat. It was a big talk about one a while back.
Bent golden bat. Oh, you mean Fooly Cooly?
No. We call it was this kid on rollerblades. Something. Damn it. We call it something about the chaos of being afraid of just being hit in the head with this golden bat and being killed by this character was creating so much fear and chaos that it took on a life of its own. It was. That
sounds really cool.
It was. We call it. Someone I know. We call it. We'll remember the fucking name of it. It was the whole fucking because there was a couple of those. They did the thing where it was a very serious series. It was just really weird in parts and stuff like that. Then they threw in two random joke episodes where because they find the original kid, the kid with on the rollerblades and the golden bat. We call it, which is that he beat someone with it because they attacked him. Yeah. But they lied to the news reporters, and it just kept getting worse and worse where people were making shit up and stuff.
Gotcha.
Until the fear and shit like that took on a massive Akira-like substance.
Yes.
We call it, but when they're talking to the kid's like a drug addict or something like that, and he's just weird. And they end up the cops that are investigating the story end up following him into his mind, and it's a video game and shit like that.
How? How'd they get into his mind?
It's not that they're actually there, but they portray it as they are because he's talking about it.
Oh, and it's like building the world around him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool concept. I like that. See, I love shit like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That was like my favorite thing with Boondock Saints, is that it's done backwards, right? They show you the aftermath of what they did, and then they show Defoe's character reconstructing it. And it's like, and that's what you're seeing. So I always thought that was fucking brilliant. I love shit like that. That's fucking awesome. But anyway, to get back to the major point. So who cares? Who cares if it's whitewashed? It's stupid. You shouldn't watch it anyway. Watch something better. Watch the original. Probably the anime is probably going to be better than the remake anyway, which isn't saying much because they're both probably garbage.
Yeah.
Secondly, she looks like the fucking character.
Fucking dead on.
She looks like the character. If the character is drawn that way and it comes over and you think it's whitewashed, doesn't really matter because the character looks that way now. And they made a conscious decision to draw her that way, probably because they would make more money that way.
That's the whole thing. Okay, if you go back a while back, Scarlett Johansson talked about how she was too beautiful. Which, if you give her, she's like the epitome of woman perfection in some cases. We call it. It's the whole fucking thing. Like her symmetry is amazing. We call it because that's what beauty is based on in most cases. Is symmetry.
Sure.
That's,
I'm not going to argue with you. Yeah.
But the whole thing about it was that she was too beautiful for most parts, for a lot of stuff. Like her as the Scarlet, the Black Widow. She's supposed to be extremely beautiful and captivating.
Because that's like her power.
Yeah, we call it... plus, she's supposed to be like 80 years old.
Yeah.
We call it... then you have, I don't know, she was in that one movie. That has nothing to do with it, but she was in Eight-Legged Freaks, and I always forget about that.
Yeah.
We call it... but yeah, anyways, that's the same character, pretty much. Because she's supposed to be the perfect built woman, or some shit.
Yeah.
So we call it, there you are. We call it, if you have someone that claims to be too beautiful and it has stopped her from getting parts.
The thing that's annoying about it is that people are assuming that the only movie market in the world is Hollywood. And that's what pisses me off about this whole whitewashing thing. Because people are like, well, how come when it's a story that's based in Mexico, we cast white people or black people or whatever, we don't cast Mexican leads? And it's like, because our culture traditionally has white or black actors and actresses, usually more dominant Caucasian actresses or actors or whatever. That's what we do because that's where our shit comes from. Because I'm going to tell you this, Bollywood makes more money annually than Hollywood, and that's all Indian actors. So for everybody bitching to me about Indian actors, go to a different fucking market because they're all over the place. I see Indian actors every day because I love Bollywood movies. Okay? When do I see Asian leads? When I watch all the fucking movies coming out of Asia that, you know what I mean, that all have Asian leads. Just go to the fucking market. Just go. Stop going that like Netflix is the only place that has movies and America's the only country that makes movies. Because I'll tell you this, when a fucking Indian country remakes an American movie, they cast all Indian actors, even if it was written that they were from Middle Kansas, where there are no Indian people.
There was a great fucking movie from Cuba that I watched that was Juan of the Dead.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
People just need to stop taking entertainment that fucking seriously. I'm sorry that people have decided to make their fucking careers trying to be an actor and do all that kind of shit, and they think that everything should be equal, but I'm here to tell you something. Not everything is equal. You are not guaranteed that kind of equality. Everybody has an opportunity to be an actor. Well, the difference is that your opportunities might be different, right?
Well, remember a while back, Master of None talked about this, which was that if you have one Indian guy, fine. But if you have two Indian guys, it becomes an Indian show.
Yeah.
We call it a third, and it becomes a joke.
And that's the whole thing about it, is that that's how America is. And until you change the interior culture of that, which we've taken gigantic strides backwards politically recently because of that, you have to start somewhere. Hollywood is not the place to start with that kind of shit. Hollywood reflects the trends that you're in because all they care about is your money. Why is Scarlett Johansson cast over some unknown Asian actress in an Asian, written story? Because more people will go to see Scarlett Johansson in a skin-tight outfit than any other person in the world.
That, if you really think about it, it's an anime movie.
I don't even think it matters.
Well, I'm just saying the fact is it's an anime movie. like, sure, comic book movies were a big success, but there was a time where they weren't sure if they were going to be a success. They're taking a bigger jump with anime movies.
Yeah. I mean,
so if they can put a movie out that they know for sure, like they do Cowboy Bebop, we call it. I'm not a big fan of Cowboy Bebop. I really tried. I know you love it. I know you do. I really tried. I gave it a long go, and I just couldn't.
It's fine. It's not for everybody.
Yeah, we call it. I mean, I love stuff by the same writer and stuff, but for some reason, I couldn't get into it. There were characters that I loved. The whole thing. It wasn't difficult to fucking stick with or anything like that. But for some reason, it never caught on with me.
Yeah.
I could see that story doing very well as a movie. But for those who don't watch anime and stuff like that, they're just going to be like, what the fuck is Cowboy Bebop,
Yeah, and that's the whole thing is that it's not... First off, it's an interpretation. So, it's kind of like, does this situation diffuse if you just say instead of it being Neo Tokyo, it's Neo New York? Now, or have you diffused the situation?
Well, what the fuck was in Big Hero 6?
Well, but you know what I'm Tokyo, San Fran, Tokyo, San Francisco, or some shit. Yeah, but do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how the whole thing. Like, if all you're seeing is race, then you have a race problem.
We need to get off the subject.
But I said, my biggest thing is she looks like the fucking character, so shut the fuck up. If you don't know that she doesn't look, that she, then you don't even know the anime, so shut the fuck up.
She's a dead ringer. That's all.
Like, I'm sorry, but fuck off, because she's drawn like a white person in the fucking anime. So,
with purple hair.
Yeah, so,
but we call it, I have to bring up Kong. You haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to talk about the story or anything like that. I am just going to say Sam Jackson deserves an Oscar for him saying bitch in that movie.
Why?
Because it was just perfect. It's such a tense moment. Everyone's arguing, and then there's this moment of stunned silence. He's like, bitch, please. And just like, it was like, oh my God, that was beautiful.
Okay, so it's like that guy, the guy, is that Alba? Is that Idris Alba who was in Pacific Rim?
I know the name. I can tell you who he is.
He's the guy that's in Luther. British actor. He's in Luther. He's going to be the main character of the Tower, the Stephen King's Tower series. You haven't seen Luther? Mm-hmm. You might like Luther. It's on Netflix. You might want to check it out.
I think we call it.
I did not really like Luther, but
I think a buddy of mine literally just gave me the series. I think
you should watch it. Like, you might like that one. I did not like Luther that much, but I love Idris Elba. I think he should be everything. I was super happy when they were like, he's going to be the next Bond. I was like, oh, and I like Daniel Craig. But I was like, oh my God, Idris Elba would be a great Bond.
Oh, wait.
Or Alba. If I'm saying his last name wrong, I'm sorry.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, okay, so now you know?
Yeah.
Okay, all I had to do was say Bond, and then you're like, oh yeah.
No. Well, no, because I remember, like, he gave, what was it, we discussed, I think it was the second best speech.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so you're saying, like, that's going to be my question. Is how Sam Jackson in Kong, how he says bitch, better than how Idris Elba, I think if it's Idris Elba, in Pacific Rim say apocalypse? Remember, he's like, we will cancel the apocalypse. And I was like, oh my God. That is the greatest way I've ever heard that word said.
We call it, I don't know, I don't know. God, it was so great though. We call
it's tough, right?
The one I found out recently, how many Skarsgårds there are.
Skarsgårds?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like the guy that's in It? Is that his last name?
Yeah, that's just it. He has like 6 siblings that are all actors.
And they're all Skarsgårds.
No, that's like they're all, we call it, they all have like...
That's amazing. Yeah. Like, it's like history's greatest acting family. The Estevezes / Sheens, the Baldwins, the Skarsgårds.
We call it, no, apparently there's 4 of them, but apparently all 5 of them are actors or some shit. We call it, I don't know. I just, like, he's like, yeah, you've seen all of them. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? They don't look anything alike.
At all?
Yeah, like, I mean, there's like 2 of them that look alike.
So like Emilio and Charlie.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they look alike. People have argued that with me, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I can't see it either.
I think Charlie looks like his dad, though.
Yeah, he looks a lot like Martin.
But Emilio looks like he was adopted.
Yeah.
Emilio!
Yeah. God damn it. All right, moving on. We call it Rick and Morty is back. Thank God.
Yeah, and I saw it. I was late to the party to see it, but I did see it. I'm going back to school, and I had time in between classes, and we had a test. So we were asking our instructor questions, and he had to go to a meeting for a while. So I plugged my laptop into a projector and projected it onto our classroom screen with the speakers. And I go to like a recording arts thing, so like it's really nice. And just sat there and watched it. It was okay. I was a little disappointed.
See, we call it. I was happy with it. We call it. It was a blind watch. It was I couldn't sleep. I had work in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And we call it, and suddenly, like, it popped up on my Facebook stream. I'm like, ah! Yeah, we call
I like how easy it is to find it somewhere to watch it, though. I like how it's, like, not, like, impossible unless you're on Hulu
there
or
was,
whatever.
like, a full day where they just kept streaming it over and over again.
That's what I'm saying. I liked how they did that. And I just don't like I don't like how it's the same ending as the ending of the first season. Does that make sense?
I thought it was an interesting little callback because it shows like how vindictive and evil he really is.
But do you really believe that?
I don't know.
Because I still will tell you that episode still plays into my overall theory that Rick, the thing that makes him different from all the other Ricks, is that he does give a shit about his family.
But he wants to put the fear into Morty to like have him stay with him.
Because what does he do in everything? He goes out of his way to try to prove that everybody's wrong, even if they are right.
Yeah.
And him taking him in and flipping out on him and going, this is what I did. I took down the government and your dad to become the patriarch of this, and they'll all believe me because now I'm a fucking hero. And it's one of those things where it's like, but he already knew that you were a vindictive piece of shit. So who are you trying to convince about? And the best thing about Rick and Morty is just like Gravity Falls, I feel like they take a lot of time putting this together where you can have these kinds of discussions, and it does make sense with the show.
Yeah.
But I still want the one-eyed Morty to come back.
Yeah.
I thought that was what was going to happen. Well, that's what I
to.
thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? As I thought that when he was switching back and forth between people, he was going to realize that one of them was actually already being controlled by the other Morty. But I don't know. I felt like it was kind of because the thing that disappoints me about it is I do not give a shit about the grounded story. Okay, I've never cared about his mom and dad.
But that was the whole. It was just used as a leeway to fucking.
No, they did. They used them a lot in the second season. Like they do that a lot. The
That was
parallel
a great
shit.
episode where they left his dad at the babysitter's place.
It's fine, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when they do the stories between the mom and the dad and their relationship is like the subplot of the episode. I'm like, I don't care. Either they need to get divorced or they need to not be divorced. I'm tired of it because it's the same thing over and over again. So I hope they do get divorced, and I hope he's just not in it.
Yeah.
Because I don't care.
I'm trying to think of the actor because he's a short guy. I couldn't tell you his name, but
and he's in fucking everything. He plays the progressive box or whatever. That's what I always.
Well, no,
remember.
he was the what do you call it? The what was that goddamn movie with Andy Samberg? The one that like everybody found out about him through. Where he's just
Hot Rod.
Yeah, Hot Rod. He was the radio newscaster for the AM radio.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm not saying like I hate the character, like the way it's acted. I just hate the stories.
Well, that's the whole thing is you like the mom you're not really supposed to care about. It's the dad that you have more of an actual like understanding of what's going on with him.
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff
because
like
it's weird how the in the family the three-dimensional characters are Rick, Morty, and the dad.
Yeah,
because the mom is not a three-dimensional character, and neither is Summer.
No.
Like, I cannot remember.
They've come up with Summer a little bit.
Not really. She's still... No. You can be in a lot of things and not be three-dimensional. She's always motivated by the same thing, which is to try to get Rick's attention.
Yeah.
That's what makes... Like, there's no substance to her character.
Not in the very beginning.
Well, yeah, and then... but that's what I'm saying, is she didn't have any character in the very beginning. She was just the annoying older sister who was a teenager.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, now we need to bring this other character in, and now she's just... Well, if you don't want to go on adventures with Grandpa, then I'll do it. And that's every episode she's in, and I just don't care. You know what I mean? And I think that's really funny.
All right, we got to keep moving. Archer. Now, you haven't watched it yet.
No.
But I know you didn't seem too comfortable with the idea of how this new one is portrayed.
It's not comfort. That's jumping the shark to me.
What, the fact that he's in a coma?
That he's in a coma and now everything's in his head.
Yeah.
Because that's like Roseanne. That's like Roseanning your way out of a thing.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like like why would you care about a story that's not like it's not canon is not the word that I'm looking for, but like it's of no consequence to anything.
I was talking about this with somebody because it's now on FXX, which apparently is like a running joke if that's where you send shows to die.
That makes sense. It probably is going to die.
Yeah. So, all right.
It ran its course, right? Like that's the shitty thing about American television that I wish we had more in common with British TV. Is British TV has a plan, and once it hits the arc, it's done.
Yeah.
Regardless of if people want it to come back, it's done, and that makes it better. Archer, I feel like, especially comedy shows, like if it gets to a point where you're just forcing it, it's not the same. It's not the same, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Archer started kind of going downhill with that PI shit, right? I mean, like when they started doing that weird crap, like I kind of was like, I'm sort of out. Venture Brothers did the same thing for me.
Venture Brothers has gotten good again.
See, but that's probably because now they have new writers.
I don't know.
See, that would be my guess. Is there's probably
Because I believe
change in
it's
the writers.
come back again in the past couple months or something.
But the
like
first two or three seasons of Venture Brothers were amazing, and then I just thought that we're out of
Well,
ideas.
yeah, the third son kind of ruined it.
That's what I'm saying. See, that goes back to what I said. When you add a fucking character.
Yeah.
When there's a new character that comes in. Because I can tell you that in any show that I've ever seen when they add a character. So Venture Brothers, the Rugrats, when Tommy's little brother
Dill
came
was
in.
awesome.
No, fuck you. Fairly Odd Parents, when they brought in Poof.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
like I'm just saying, like whenever a new character comes in.
And now there's a dog,
Yeah,
too.
see, that's because that's how it is. Except for Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo is always great unless Scrappy's there. Or that weird retarded pale cousin that he has. Do you know what that one is? Have you ever seen him?
No.
Yeah, he's weird. He's swept under the rug a lot.
All right. I mean, you haven't watched these yet either, but for those of you that care, Sword Art Online Abridged got its last episode for the season. Longer one, hilarious, and on Dragon Ball Z Abridged, Android 13 finally met Goku. So it's great. They do this whole thing of he's like, and like long stares, and it just goes internal monologue, and he's singing. It's like, would you let me kill you? So yeah,
hasn't Android 13 at this point been beaten by people that Goku was beaten?
No. The only person he's fought was Cell.
And he beat Cell.
He kicked the fuck out of him, and then Cell like immediately afterwards became more powerful.
Okay, and then
Or is it's 16. 16.
Who defeated Cell?
No one yet.
So they're still in the Cell series.
Yes.
Okay.
But you were watching that, right? Where they had the rando characters show up?
Yeah, and they had Kenshiro come in.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one because like he's like, you're already dead. What? That fucking hurt! Oh my god!
So I'm here to play a children's card game.
Time to duel.
That has become a huge thing now.
It's a huge thing when that show was super popular too.
Yeah, but
that's weird, right?
It came back because like I laughed my ass off at the first time Little Karibo did that. Or instead of like it's a remix, it's actually him just going, "It's a time to do." We call it, but like I've seen a bunch of memes like that now too. Call it, so yeah. But moving off of that, you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, okay. So I had to see Beauty and the Beast. My girlfriend wanted to see Beauty and the Beast, and I had to go to it, which actually it wasn't super bad. I'd be okay with a generation of kids growing up with it.
I did see a great thing of it was James Corgan.
Yeah. Well,
it's Corgan, right?
Yes.
We call it
Corden?
Yeah, Corden.
Yeah, Cordon or Corden.
The British guy that we both love.
Yes.
We call it he fucking had a great thing for like a little tie-in to the show coming out is him and a bunch of his stage actors. They went out into the middle of New York and just started doing the songs in between the lights.
Nice.
We call it. He is an amazing music. Like I know he grew up loving musicals, like more than anybody I've ever heard of.
The best thing about it is that the songs, like the gay character thing, is really funny. No, it's really funny because it's not. It's not like what people, I think, tried to make it where it's like he's really not. He's just playing LeFou, which is the guy that follows Gaston around.
Yeah.
He's just the same character. And I don't know about you, but when I watched it, I always thought he was gay anyway.
Yeah.
And he's just portraying the same character except with an obvious, like with a sexual attraction to Gaston as opposed to this weird semi-sexual attraction that they did in the cartoon.
If you look, he's actually thrusting his ass cheeks in the cartoon version towards Gaston.
Yeah, I'm just saying, legitimately, if you... Okay, look, no straight man in anything, whether it's a musical or a cartoon musical or whatever, is singing a song about how wonderful this other man is to cheer up that man in a bar full of other men unless you are trying for some head-to-head combat. Okay? Like, it's just not happening, right? To me, it's like his character was always gay, and they just sort of made it more of a romantic interest. It does nothing to it. They actually make him. Oh, I'm not going to do anything, but it's such a non-factor that actually kind of irritated me. Like, I mean, I usually go to each their own.
Did they
but
still kill Gaston?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's remarkably similar. They actually added in some of the songs from the Broadway play,
cool.
so there's actually more songs. And the Gaston song that they do is awesome. That whole bar, that is like no one's singing with him in the beginning. Like no one just joins in with him. So as he's going around, like starting to do the song to cheer him up, he's like paying people to start joining.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is so good.
Well, did you ever watch Hail Caesar?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Was it as good as that Channing Tatum scene where he's in the bar? And
yes,
he's like
I think it was up there with it.
Okay.
That's a good scene too.
That is an amazing scene.
I actually think Beauty and the Beast, that's probably one of the longer songs in it, the Gaston one. And it is probably my favorite song in it. Because it's my favorite song in the old one, too. It's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Or my favorite song in the movie. My favorite movie is Mulan, Disney movie, if we're talking about.
And they're talking about doing that.
For two reasons. One, it was the only Disney movie that I was young enough to remember going to the theater to see, and I went and saw it with my grandmother. It was just me and my grandma, and we went and saw it. And that's like my grandma's favorite. And then the other reason is because it's the only Disney movie that has an upbeat song that's interrupted by genocide.
Yeah.
Which is the one where they're singing about like a girl worth fighting for, and then they get cut off at the end when they come to the village, and it's just death. And everyone's like, oh my God, this whole village is destroyed. Oh no, we're not done yet. Because then you go up that little hill, and then there's like the drop off into the little canyon, and then it's like your entire army is also dead. And guess who's in the pile of corpses down there? Oh, guess what? Dude's dad. Yeah. Also, they insinuate that they murdered the little girl. Like, I'm just like, holy crap. Is it because they're Chinese and Disney was just like, fuck it, they're Asian, they'll make more?
Did
like,
you
what
know,
happened?
We call it the modern Disney. We call it what was that fucking show? Enchanted? Was that what it was called?
Yes.
They made Mulan a lesbian.
So?
I'm just
why?
saying,
She gets married in them.
Well, that was the whole thing. Is she was? We call it.
Is she like the easiest to make into a lesbian?
I guess we call it. But she was in love with the chick that Prince Charming was after.
Prince Charming.
Was
Snow White?
Was it? No, it wasn't Snow White.
Cinderella.
One of the princesses. We call it.
You are asking the wrong dude. Because Eric is Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Prince Charming is Sleeping Beauty?
Maybe.
That
sounds right.
That sounds right.
Yeah. I know it was a blonde-haired chick that she was in love with.
That would either be Cinderella or
because
Prince
that was the whole thing is like, we call it like,
it,
they made it seem like she was just helping because she's a hero, but then they eventually go on to like show it's like, no, she's helping for her own reasons.
Yeah, but that's I don't know. See, I hate that. That's forced. That's forced. It's just like the comic book things where it's like, we're going to go through and make all these characters female, or we're going to make all this. It's like, why? Why would you take an old character and make them into something they're not? Why don't you just create a new character with new powers who's awesome and does things?
Well, I mean,
I don't understand why it needs to do that.
In the original Japanese version of Sailor Moon, which I've never watched, but I saw the little like things you don't know
about Sailor Moon. Yeah.
Was that the cousins in the American one were actually lesbian lovers
in the yeah. And that's fine because like at that point when Sailor Moon came over, America was way less okay with that, right?
I have been watching the Kickstarter Voltron. It's my first experience with Voltron.
Stealth Lions.
It literally is my first experience with Voltron whatsoever. I fucking dig it.
Yeah, Voltron is awesome. My brother was huge Voltron.
Oh yeah, and I watched part of. I literally like peeked into the theater to see part of. We call it the fucking Voltron knockoff.
Power Rangers.
Yes, thank you.
It's not a knockoff.
I was going to say Mega Rangers.
It's not a knockoff.
It's not?
I don't think so. I think they probably debuted around the same time.
Well, either way, we call it... The Zord looks like shit.
Zord looks like shit. The Ranger bot thing looks like shit. Costumes, shit.
Well, no, it's
cinematography, shit.
That was... No, like
fight choreography shit
because they never showed the Zord in the commercial. I have no interest in seeing this movie, but I wanted to see what the Zord would look like. Apparently Cranston fucking killed it. Was like amazing for it. Apparently Bill Hader, I think it was Bill Hader that did the voice for the whatever CP.
Which looked like shit.
No. What was the fucking robot? Oh, by the way,
I didn't watch Power Rangers.
He looked like shit too.
They all look like shit.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But I was talking with somebody, and I remembered how great the Ooze was. The Power... Ooze. It was like one of their...
Oh, yeah, okay.
That was just a great movie, we call it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't remember. It was Power Rangers.
I need to buy those old...
It was Power Rangers Secret of the Ooze or something like that. You don't even get that joke?
Yeah, I get it. I was just about to say I need to go and buy those on Vudu.
Yeah.
Not the Power Rangers. I hate you. I hate you so much. No, don't ruin good movies with your bullshit. That's shit with their costumes that are shit.
Well, no, I don't remember the fucking title. All I could think of it was something to do with Ooze because the villain was awesome. Because I love that whole thing. As he calls Rita Repulsa, is like, "How did you take care of the Power Rangers?" And she's like freaking out. It's like,
took care of them with shit.
It was like, if I had, do you think I'd be sitting here listening to this and like puts the phone next to Zed as he's snoring?
All I know at this point is that when I publish this episode, it's going to be it's episode 77, and it's shit. Like, that'll just be it. It's just in all caps. It's shit. Everything they talk about, shit. Voice editing, shit.
Do we have a blogger that hates on us?
Just shit. I'll be it. It'll be me. Like, hi, I'm the co-host of Illogical Universe. I fucking hate it, and here's why. It's shit. Just start going through. I'm in a loop. Help me.
Did you watch it? Or we didn't talk about it.
Did I watch? Did you mean did I watch?
No, we were starting to talk about
the new shit trailer because I did.
Fine, moving on.
Penny Shit the Clown.
Okay, do you have an audio book that you listen to that it is nothing to... Okay, I'll give you my example. I fell in love with Adam Carolla's audiobook a while back, and I've re-listened to it countless times because he goes off script so badly.
So it's like director's commentary for his
kind
own
of,
book.
yeah. Like, whereas he's supposed... But apparently, not Steve Carell. Stephen Colbert did it with his book. We call a bunch of them, like the actual writers, they'll just get tired of reading it. And like they'll just start talking about other shit. So we call it. God damn! Someone was telling me about a fantasy guy. He wrote like in the 70s. He wrote some, and he did audiobooks recently. And it was the whole fucking thing of it's like the Tower series or something like that. I don't know.
Stephen King.
No. Like a fantasy tower kind of deal.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
He's
got two of them, so whatever this guy's got, J.A.R. has
but it's
more.
Like he like introduces this character, and he's like, you know what? People have complained about this part for how many years? I'm just gonna fucking get it out of the way. I'll cut it out of the chapter later on. These motherfuckers are this. just like throws it in like 6 chapters early or something like that, just because apparently it was like chronologically weird or some shit.
Funny.
Yeah. This is like he was reading it in character too, and like we call it, and then just snaps out of it.
Nice.
So yeah,
I don't really have like an audiobook like that because a lot of the ones that I would listen to are like voice actors doing it. And they, it's not like the people who wrote it doing it.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. I just replayed through BioShock because I never actually beat it. I know what happens.
I beat it.
I know what happens.
Wait, I beat something before you?
No, I played it and got far. I just got bored with it. So I went back and I played it to completion because I want to play Infinite. And I know that I can play Infinite without playing the first one, but I can't do that.
I still haven't played. I had no interest in the second one.
I don't. I'm skipping the second one.
But that's just as everyone talked about. Oh, Infinite. I could give a fuck less.
That's my whole thing. Is I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. But the whole thing is that I was playing through it and it was like, oh, you can do director's commentary while you're playing it, and you can like find it. And I'm a completionist,
cool.
so like I scout everything. So like. I started finding them, so I started playing them as I was playing the game. Boy, that changes like the way that you're playing the game. Suddenly I felt like very cosmopolitan playing this game. It was because it's like the director comes over, it's like, now when we designed this level, we were thinking about these, and I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? And I'm like listening, and I'm like playing the game. So like as they're telling me things, I'm like trying to run around the level to sync up with like, it's like when we designed the trash can, so I'm like, oh shit, where's the trash can? Gotta look at it because I need to see what they're talking about as they're going. You know what I mean? Like it was just really funny. But it was cool. It was really cool. I've never had a game experience like that. Because with the exception of one time I was streaming a game and we had the dev in our chat. And we were talking about the game and then he would respond to us and tell us things. That's about as close as I've gotten to that kind of thing. And that was a game that was in development, so in my opinion it doesn't really count because it wasn't really a finished product. Because
you played Spy Hard or something with one of the developers?
I played Spy Hard and Sunless Sea.
Yeah.
With the developers.
Because I remember watching...
They changed their... Sunless Sea changed their combat system because of my stream, where I was like, the only problem with their combat system was it used to be turn-based. But everything had set parameters for how it worked, and everything had a set cooldown time. So literally once you figured out what combination of things to use against an enemy, you would win every time. And because I figured that out... They went back and they turned it into an active combat system where you actually clicked and shot like a thing and you could move around and stuff. But I thought that was just really funny. I was like, I affected the game. I love that game too. And they just came. They funded their Kickstarter for the second one where it's going to be like in the sky. It's going to be planes. So I'm super stoked about that. I'm glad I got to shout that out. Actually.
Let's see here. Can we go back to it now?
Yes. What was I saying?
I don't know.
Okay, so we watched because of Beauty and the Beast. That's right. So I had to watch Beauty and the Beast, and I love the book. It's the only book that ever freaked me out, and I'm not even. It's not because it's clowns. It's just because it's creepy. So when I saw that they were redoing it, I've been following it really closely. In fact, one of our first episodes, we did Pennywise versus Slender Man. Right? That was like one of our monster things.
Was that one of our first?
Yeah.
Was that our go back?
That was like our only one that we did.
Yeah.
Was
because
Pennywise
we were surprised at how well it worked.
Yeah, about how well it matched up.
I thought we went back and did another one.
I don't think we did. We should do more of those. But anyway, the point is that so if you guys actually want to have us compare monsters and see who would win and who's better, suggest us
and
monsters.
Not the traditional, because there's 100 shows out there that do that.
Yeah, but give us underappreciated characters, or at least characters that exist in some sort of similar way. Well, I'm not going to compare Godzilla to. Actually, we could do Godzilla versus the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah,
that'd be an interesting one, right?
Because they did show if you catch him on fire, it just pisses him off,
right? I don't. That'd be okay. So that might be the one we do next. But anyway, so if you guys have suggestions for monsters that we can do, or anything,
Godzilla versus Pacific Rim.
Just tweet it to us at @illogicaluni, or go to our Facebook, facebook.com/illogicaluniverse, and comment and let us know. So anyway, going back to all of this garbage, I love it and I want to see it. My girlfriend is afraid of clowns and she doesn't want to see it, but I made her watch the trailer. The trailer to my girlfriend is terrifying because there's the clown and there's the little boy, which is awful for me, but I'm super happy that they're going to be using Georgie a lot, apparently, to fuck with Ben's character. But I'm really excited for it. I think it looks really, really good. I'm actually also super happy that it's 2 parts because the book is 2 parts, technically. The first part of the book is the Losers Club when they're children, and then they defeat it. And then they make a promise to come back if it ever surfaces again. And then it surfaces again when they're adults, and they all reluctantly agree to go back and face it. So it works as a 2-part thing because the book is kind of a 2-part thing. That's why it's so long. So I'm really interested because I think it's going to be great if they give like those, because they're so detailed in the book about like how their childhoods were and how their adult lives are different from, you know what I mean? That giving them each their own movie feels like they're going to be given enough time to make it really great. So I'm really excited about it, and I think it looks really good. And And I had to go see Beauty and the Beast, so she has to go fucking see it.
See, I would willingly go see Beauty and the Beast. But
I know, so did I.
am
but
not going to see it by myself.
I know, but so did I. But the thing is that that's my only chip to make her go
Yeah.
see it, so I'm totally cashing that in. So I'm super excited for it.
I'm really confused because it is beautiful outside. My phone claims it's 37 degrees. That can't be right.
I'm not sure. Let me look at my phone. I'll tell you what it says. Hang on. It says that it is 64 degrees.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Your phone has literally cut in half the temperature.
Not literally.
There it is, 37 and 30. Oh, 74. Well, and I'm in college. So anyway, moving on to the next topic. But you know what? I'm shit at college. I'm shit at math.
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, it looks good.
I felt so happy.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, very good.
And it also confirmed something that I said to Jim that we might get.
I was
that we
convinced
might get
there
it.
was no way they were going to do it.
Yep, I had said to Jim we might get a Planet Hulk movie, and he was like, "There's no way." I was like, "Watch."
I want it to happen, but I'm just not. I'm still not convinced that it's
the
going to
most
happen.
popular Hulk story. It is. It is one of the most popular Hulk stories. There's no way you're not getting a fucking live action movie. There's no way. There's 0% chance they're not doing it. In my opinion, if you have a Guardian of the Galaxy movie, I understand having two because of how successful it was, but going back before that launched, who knew besides you? I know you did. But that was like a really limited run 70s comic book that did not have a huge following that, you know what I mean, that they brought out. And in my opinion, if you do that, it's extraordinarily likely that you'll do the most popular fucking Hulk thing. Will it be exactly the same?
Yeah.
Don't know. But you'll get it.
But that's the whole thing is like, do they continue it with World War Hulk?
I 100%.
What the hell was it called? It was World War
Yeah,
Hulk, right?
yeah. No, I 100% guarantee you it is not going to be the same in the fact that he is going to, even if throughout the whole movie he doesn't, I guarantee you at the end of the movie, when he's rocketing back into Earth, he will change back into Banner.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is like, do we get Planet
You will
Breaker
get
Hulk?
Planet Hulk where he does not change back into
I'm saying
Banner.
is Planet Breaker
I'm telling you
Hulk.
right now, from the beginning of the movie all the way to the very end of it, he will be in Hulk form. But I guarantee you that the end game of that movie is going to be him turning back into Banner.
No.
Because that it has to be.
Because
right?
they can't do the
No, because if he comes back down, that's the end of the Marvel universe,
Yeah.
right? The cinematic universe literally has to restart at that point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think you're getting that. So he would have to turn back into Banner. But you could do that. That'd be an interesting story. They send him up there because they don't think he can turn back into Banner anymore. He goes up there, takes over the planet, finds true love, and figures out that that's what soothes the inner beast.
And
enough
then
to,
Earth destroys it, and then he fucking comes back and fucks them to hell.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just giant green cock all over the place.
Yeah, but anyways, back to Ragnarok.
CGI shit! No.
I am genuinely curious if they are making Thor into Beta Ray Bill's character in Planet Hulk, or if they're combining the two. Because I love Beta Ray Bill. Oh, that's an amazing story.
It is.
But we call it, are they just throwing him out? You know?
Probably not.
Because they literally made him into Beta Ray Bill from what the commercial looks like.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to speculate on that. I would agree with you that it does look that way, though.
Yeah, I am confused by the fact that he refers to his we call it being with the Avengers as a job.
Yeah.
He's like, I know him from work. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, why is...
Yeah.
No, wait. It's okay. Before we go into the comic book thing, I do have a segue into it that is way less clumsy than what I'm doing right now. Which is, I have been rereading my Hellboys because of the sad news that I'm not getting a third movie. But so I'm going back and rereading them, and Rebirth started, so I've been catching up on some comic books that I wanted to read, which is Batman Beyond's Rebirth and then Hellblazer Rebirth. And I went back and was reading Justice League Dark, that the series they did from like probably 2011 to 2015. But anyway, point is, so I've been rereading some of the older ones, and I forgot about this, that Hellboy has probably the best secondary hero that I've ever seen, which is Lobster Johnson.
I don't know him.
Lobster Johnson is a character in Hellboy who was like a superhero when Hellboy was first discovered. And he was like his idol growing up because he was so cool and amazing and shit. And he comes back in a series and helps them defeat like an old foe and you know, save the world and blah blah blah, and it's just amazing. He's like this badass like murderous guy who's like like Punisher kinda, but he has like a lobster claw and his name is Lobster Johnson, and fuck you, that's amazing. I just wanted to throw that out there, that if you made a fucking movie called Lobster Johnson, I'm fucking watching.
Well, they did Howard the Duck.
Yeah, I know. And Lobster Johnson would be great because the name is a joke, the imagery is a joke, but you should make it like Sin City Gritty, where it's just like him murdering the shit out of everyone, bright blood, just everyone's dying, hookers, drugs everywhere, all this shit, and it's just called Lobster Johnson.
Oh. Okay, we have 5 comics to talk about today.
He leaves a little lobster claw like keychain thing wherever he goes, so that you know it was him. And it's just, who makes those for him? Like, how could you have something? How could you have a lobster like keychain made for you without someone going, "Hey, are you Lobster Johnson?" And he's like, "Fuck!" Shoots the Kinko's. Now I have to go to another Kinko's. Like, I don't like. It's just like, who does that?
We're starting a new segment, which we're going to hope to continue.
The segment's going to be shit.
Which I think we call it, me and Kyle each went through the comic book shop, and we each found a comic we would not buy for ourselves.
Yeah.
Which I love the Red Lantern Corp, but I hate the Green Lantern Corp. So I bought him Green Lantern and Planet of the Apes.
And I pretty much just hate the Green Lantern because if you have a fucking ring that can be anything that you want it to be, why don't you just like make like the this is the hammer that kills everything that it touches except me hammer.
Well, see, there was something that talked about that I was watching. Oh yeah, it's an anime I watched. They're talking about you can't make something beyond human
until they write it in this shit.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Because that shit was not explained when they explained the Rings of Power back in the day.
Oh, we bent it.
That was like that.
Okay, we fucked up apparently we bought a fucked up copy of
the
Archie.
one that I bought for Jimmy because I knew he would hate it.
Yes.
I saw it, and if you've ever been with me in a comic book store, I buy about 10 comics at a time.
No, we bought more than that.
I buy I go to the 50-cent bin and just splurge on it. So but I bought Jim an amazing comic. I mean, the cover is amazing. It's got a guitar on it and a very famous punk band, which is Archie Meets the Ramones.
Yeah.
And Jim, you should have seen his face light up. It was like Christmas. You should see him now. I have no idea what this Archie thing is with these, but there was Archie and the Ramones. There was one that we were legit interested in, which is Archie and the Predator.
Yeah, but that's just it. Is from what I got from this, apparently there's a character in Archie that has magical abilities called Sabrina.
There you go.
Yeah, we call it, and apparently she's the one that gets him into all these crossovers.
There you go. That's fine.
But I don't know that for sure.
Look, as long as there's a fucking reason, okay? If there's no reason, it doesn't make any sense in the Archie comic, then fuck you.
I'm just
shit.
I'm going off of a guess here because literally they just, Jesus Christ, this is number 1.
Yeah, no, there's more.
Call it, but yeah,
that's actually real quick. So the caveat to this game is that when we pick it, it does have to be the first issue. It cannot be midway into the issue. The second game, it doesn't matter. The first one that we'll do, though, it does have to be the first issue.
Yeah.
Now, we did not discuss if we could buy the second issue of a comic book.
I mean,
if I want you to read Archie and the Ramones all the way to completion.
Well, no, I don't think I think the next one is him and Predator or him and so and so.
Oh, you think that's how it's doing it?
Yeah.
It's not like.
Yeah, because literally, they didn't say for sure, but they made it seem like that's what's going on, is if someone has magical abilities to teach them a lesson or some shit.
Okay, because they're all dicks. Yeah. I mean, we all know how Jughead is. But so tell me, did you enjoy it?
God, no.
Yes, you did.
It's oh
He's
dear
looking
God.
at it longingly right now.
They make the Ramones seem like a dick, which I don't doubt.
They probably were.
Yeah,
because they were probably not sedated at that point.
Yeah, we call it. It's just oh my God. They're bitching the entire time about being stuck in 1978 or some shit.
There's no hamburgers. I'm sorry.
No. He was actually very happy because he saw how cheap the burgers were.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, he's either going to be like, oh my God, there's no burgers. And it's going to be like, oh my God, the burger's $1. I got 5.
Yeah.
That's how I imagine he talks.
Yeah, there was a cartoon a while back.
Did they do heroin like the Ramones would have done with it? Did they do any drugs with the Ramones?
Nikki Sixx used to drink heroin through a fucking.
That's what I'm saying. Did they do any drugs?
That's how.
Or did the Ramones be like, you need to stay in school?
No,
Archie.
They told him to go. We call it to Rock and Roll High School and take a PE class.
That sounds like an amazing.
Which
comic.
got them.
Fuck you.
Which got them leather jackets. Then they had to go to the pet cemetery and steal a treasure, which they took dog collars with animals that were like Ruby, Precious, so on and so forth. What else did they have to do?
Wait, so they robbed the graves of dogs?
That's what Archie and them did. Yes.
Okay, first off, fuck you. That sounds amazing.
Time travel, Kyle.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm out.
Yeah.
Still, if you just pitched it to me without the time travel,
Yeah.
you'd have to save Archie for the end. Because if you led with Archie, you need to bury the lead.
Yeah.
Like if you led with it's an Archie comic, I'm like, no, we're done. But if you were like, it's a thing where they go to the rock and roll high school and they get their leather jackets and they go into a pet cemetery and they rob the graves of these pets for the dog collars, which gives them their fucking rock name. I'd be like, I am fucking into this. And then you'd be like, it's an Archie comic. I'd be like, less into it, but let's still do it. I want to see the grave robbing.
The Ramones are dicks in that, like, they don't call them the Archies, they call them the Starchies.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's real in your face.
They have to win a battle. They lose a battle of the bands. Then they have
adversity.
Then they have to enter a battle of the bands in the 1978 to win first pressing of their first album. To then you play that to Return to the Future.
So does like anyone who plays it just gets catapulted into the future, like because that would be a disastrous first record. like if every time someone listened to your vinyl, they just got catapulted 30 years into the future. Like
I got hold on, I'm gonna try and.
But there is adversity, so they don't just automatically win, right? So they lost one.
They actually throughout an entire page do like the first couple verses of "Hey ho." Let's go. Hey, we call it. But I'm going to try and sing you one of their songs. Hold on. It's like right here. Okay. Hello. I don't want to go down to the basement. Hey, Daddy, I don't want to go down to the basement. There's something down there. I don't want to go to the basement. That's one of the Starchy songs. And they're punk rockers, by the way. Archie, they're all in a punk band. So, yeah, that's why I don't know.
My wonderful selection from Jim is Green Lantern, but it's not just Green Lantern. It's Green Lantern meets the Planet of the Apes. Mm-hmm. So that was doubly terrible for me because Green Lantern is just terrible. The whole lantern bullshit, I hate it. And then Planet of the Apes, once again, it's just I'm not a fan. I don't like it. So merging them together can only be the best thing that I've ever read. And to be honest with you, it's pretty dry. I don't really hate it, and I don't really love it. I tried, okay? Like I didn't go into this with the mindset of, like, I'm going to automatically fucking hate this comic book. Mm-hmm. Like, I really did was like, okay, let's just try to imagine that I don't know anything about this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And just try to go into it. And they did have, like, one kind of neat thing, which is it's like cross-time. You know what I mean? It's like it's... So there's a story about Sinestro, the gayest, villain in the fucking galaxy, trying to get the universal ring of power by killing a bunch of other lantern people, and that somehow gets him a map, which is like a common theme, by the way, in DC things, because that happens in Hellblazer or in Justice League Dark. They have to like kill a bunch of people and then they get a map, and I don't understand why DC thinks that if you murder people you get maps. Like, that's not how it works.
I don't know,
but anyway. So he gets a map, and that's happening at the same time. So the Green Lanterns are fighting them in like our current, like in the normal universe or whatever, right? So then in the Planet of the Apes universe, when humanity's been destroyed, a meteor hits the Earth, and one of the apes goes to investigate it, and he finds a fossilized ring of power. And he brings it back, and he dusts it off, and he does these things, and they reveal that it's a red ring, which I actually thought was like, oh, okay, so it's not a green one, it's a red one. He's going to be a bad monkey. Which it ends with him putting it on, but he's not like the chosen one or whatever the fuck they do with it. It
rejects him.
Yeah, whatever. No, it's on his ring. Like, if it rejected him, why does it allow him to use it?
I don't know.
Exactly, because it doesn't fucking matter because it's a ring. Anyway, point is.
Well, no, the rings are supposed to be sentient.
Shit. Okay, but anyway, so
hold on. Here's another.
At the end of it, he goes and he finds like this ancient race of monk human beings who supposedly shouldn't exist, and they try to take the ring from him because they say that he's not supposed to be the one that gets the ring. He turns into kind of a red lantern, unleashes some of the power on one of them, kills one of the humans, and eviscerates him into a smoldering skeleton. And then all the other humans start to kind of bow to him. He's like, "What have I done?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What have you done?" I hate that. Mm-hmm. I hate that in anything. Like, what have I done? What do you mean? Look, you turned the guy into a skeleton. That's what you did.
Here's the first.
Really, nothing happened. I really can't tell you.
I'm guessing this is going to be the chorus for their next song. Jackie is a punk. Judy is a runt. They both went down to Berlin. Yeah.
I think it sounds great. I think you just suck. That's all I think. I think you just suck.
That I apparently can't. I think if I like.
Oh wait, I forgot. Hal Jordan actually does somehow go to Ape World.
Nice.
I forgot that because he's fighting Sinestro. They go down into the water, and for some reason he's like, "My green ring isn't listening to me," and then he gets tackled into the water. And then when he comes up, he's in tattered clothing, and you see that stupid fucking the half buried Statue of Liberty, and he's like on that beach because of course he is.
Okay, moving on to our next game. We went to the 50-cent box, and we pulled randoms.
Like where I live.
Yeah, so...
Jim basically means that he came to my house with the 50-cent box.
We called literally, like, there was, like, what, 7 rows of
mine over there?
What?
Is mine over there?
I thought you had it.
I did. Okay. Hang on. While Jim's selling you his, I'm going to go get mine.
Yeah. We call it... can you grab me a soda, please?
Nope, because it's shit.
Yeah. We call it... essentially, there were 7 rows. We each had picked a row for one of the others, and then we each picked, literally just blindly picked a random fucking comic out of it. And I was a poor son of a bitch who picked Dark Horse Presents number 37, which is 3 stories in one, which I'm thrown into the middle of 3 different fucking stories. I'm going to talk about the one that I understood the most, and I thought was actually pretty decent subject matter. We call it, or, at least basic enough that it could be its own thing. Was Delia and Celia, which it starts with 2 half-naked chicks. We call it talking about how they need to escape, essentially Eden, I guess is the best way I'll describe it.
Yeah, we need to escape paradise.
Well, no, it's the whole fucking thing of is they're technically held captive by by their lack of knowledge. We call it that they're stuck there, which they have the option.
Kind of like so, it's sort of like a metaphor for like you reading this comic.
Well, that's
reading the other 2, where you were a prisoner of your lack of knowledge of what had happened before.
They live a life of servitude where all of their days are devoted to like serving their gods. Yeah. Which essentially is just worshiping them and blah blah blah. Which they're allowed to leave at any time and blah blah blah. But if they do, they have no idea what's outside there. They do know, apparently they did know about slavers coming to try and take them. Because when they did leave, first thing they saw was a slaver ship coming to their town. So they went back to warn them. And apparently no one gave a fuck that they left. We call it because they're like, oh shit, slavers. And like all the people on stilts and all the boats like went out into the jungle and just slowly crept up behind them as they were coming in. And that's where it ended.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it?
That story, yes. Bacchus, kind of, yeah. Which was the last story. Delia and Celia was the second one. Heartbreakers, which is the first one, was maybe it's a good one. I have no idea because there's so much shit already going on that I have no fucking clue what the hell's happening.
So essentially in the first week of us doing this game, Jim already had to special rule his way out of doing it.
No,
he was like, I don't understand. Do I have to read this?
Okay,
I was like, no.
I'll give you my problems with Heartbreakers. There are panels where it looks like it's happening in the 1980s. Like there's businessmen that, that's doing a Coke off a table or some shit like that.
Doing a Coke?
Yeah.
Doing one Coke off a table.
We call it, then there's this futuristic fucking cave people and shit like that are fighting an army, but then there's fucking people that are trying to get to their leader because they deserted the bad guys or some shit.
So
no, there's more.
No, wait. Would you say it's shit?
Yes.
Okay, good.
But that's the whole thing. It's like it has a very we call it a Tank Girl feel, but there's so much going on. I'm just completely lost.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we call it like there's like 4 or 5 stories in 8 pages of as what's going on in this one single grand story.
So you would recommend
the Celia and Delia? I could see it being interesting.
Cool. Mm-hmm. That's good. But we're doing this every week, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll pick one for each other, and then we'll pick a random one that
Please, between all of you listeners, donate $50 or $1. We need $1.
We need technically $2.
Oh wait. Well, I mean, we get our payment once a month, so
yeah. No, we've met this goal.
So no,
we're at least $8. So we meet this goal. That's what the $8 right now is funding.
No, but for us to be completely non-paying for ourselves, we need $38. No, $34.
No. Why?
Because $4 for the comics.
It's not $4.
It's 50 cents a piece
for 2 comics.
No,
so it'd be $2 for 4 comics.
What?
If it's 50 cents a piece,
yes,
and we're buying 4 comics a week, that's $2.
No, for a month. It would be $8 a month. That's $4. 8 comics.
No, if we do it once a week, and you buy 4 comics a week.
Oh well, then
for $2. Well, then it's 4 times. Oh yeah, it'd be $8.
Then we need
$8 a month.
$4.50. I'm not counting the full price ones. I'm not going to.
I'm not. That's what I'm saying. If they're all 50 cents, because we're doing this from the 50-cent bin.
Well, no, I'd still like to do the new ones because I'd like to talk about.
I also asked them about PandaCon,
yeah.
And the guy didn't know what PandaCon was, and I'm like, I know more than you.
But, and he was a dick and made me almost shit my pants.
That was amazing. He's like, we don't have a public bathroom, and then he made Jim go out the back.
Yeah, I'm like trying to express to him is like, I cannot make it. I need a bathroom.
You should have just shit in their parking lot.
Yeah.
That's what I'd have done.
I had to throw away my underwear. Because I made it to the toilet, but my underwear did not.
Aw. But that's a great segue into it's shit. No, I'm kidding. Into the comic book that I got to read. I got to read episode 57 or comic books 57 of the Power Pack, which is apparently the youngest superhero team in the Marvel universe, and it's connected to the Fantastic Four is Marvel, yeah, and it's connected to the Fantastic Four because I guess Sue and Rogers. It's Roger and is it Roger? Who's Mr.
Reed?
Reed, yeah, the Reed's kid is one of the kids.
Which I actually already knew about this because it's we call it. He's considered one of the most powerful because he has cosmic abilities as well as he's a mutant.
That's great. He's a little bitch in this.
Oh.
He's in a coma throughout most of this, so he's really not that powerful in a coma. I just want to point out, I'm going to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels of this, just so that you guys understand what's going on to the extent that I did. I'm not going to try to explain it to you because it's 57 issues in. I don't know what's going on. First off, something blew up and hit this kid in the back and put him in a coma, and then I'm assuming there's this green guy here who is an alien. For a while, I thought he was the ship. Because I thought he was like the consciousness of the ship. Because the ship has a consciousness, which I thought was just this guy. But it's not. He's just a dude who's almost dying. So there's 3 people who are injured. There's an alien, there's a woman, or there's Nova, who she was, she actually dated Human Torch.
Nova's a girl in this one?
Yes. That one.
Well, no, because there's a Nova, because that's Marvel, right?
Yeah. She dates the Human Torch.
Well, no, because there's a male Nova as well.
There is, but I think she's called Nova in this. What is her fucking name? Hang on, I gotta look for her name real quick.
Well, he's looking.
Oh, Frankie Ray, but she is Nova. Anyway, so Friday is the name of the ship, and so somebody is asking the ship if these people who are injured is going to be okay. And there's also a character in here that we're going to get to in the beginning who has a thought at the end of this, which kind of sums up how this goes. So the ship says about the people who are, sick. Goes, tests on the Earthling Frankie Ray reveal no immediate dangers, despite the loss of cosmic power that made her Nova. Still, her readings are quite anomalous. For some inexplicable reason, she still seems to demonstrate an enormous power level reading, commiserate with the energy of an average Earth superhero. On the other hand, the Elan is not well. This is the alien that I thought was the ship. If not for Alex's effort, who's the kid that got hit with the ball and put into a coma, and is also Reed's son. He would already be dead. Still, he is not out of danger, and if his condition does not soon take an unexpected turn,
man, this is a huge,
more drastic. It needs to build up. What about
it's
Franklin?
Shit.
So Franklin's dying too, and then then it reveals that there's this other kid who may have another problem of his own, and then he says to himself, "Oh no, now they're all going to know I'm going bald."
I'm sorry, but we have to address this. I just had to tell Kyle to bring down the energy.
No.
Because when I go over top, it's out of fucking nowhere, and it's not very often, so it's hard to tell when it's going to happen. Like Kyle starts screaming over me, so
and then I just stay at that emotional level.
Yeah.
Like I will say this though, it's like at the end of the very end of this, the ship goes. His powers may erupt out of control at any moment. I've got to act now. There's no other choice. I'm going to have to amputate. And I think they're talking about the little kid. I think they're talking about Reed's kid.
They're just gonna eject him from the fucking building.
That's what I would do. I don't understand that. So they're in space, and he's like, I'm going to amputate. It's like, why don't you just shoot him out into space?
No. We call it, which I bought a random comic just because I liked the cover.
Yeah, that one was good.
Which we both really enjoyed. I just want to read to you the very first little thing, in which case this is actually quite short. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy who could own a man purse. Yeah, so there we are. That's literally the first sentence of this new comic. I've never heard of the character.
I've heard of the character. He was in Deadpool's little thing. That's
Apparently.
what he was talking about it. I was about to say, I think he says something about it.
Which this is coming back saying that we call it he's quit and he's become a psychotherapist for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that lasts like what? It doesn't even last this whole issue.
No.
So
literally about 2 pages before the end, he stops being that.
Yeah.
So we call it, but yeah, so far it seems really good.
He looks like a mix between Slade and Red Skull.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing is he describes himself as the poor man's Punisher.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I'm seeing because
Deathstroke is the poor man's Punisher.
Some of the other fucking we call it covers I saw was that we call it did hint at that he has a little bit of a fourth wall break thing.
A little bit.
But we call it or at least he's addressing you the entire time explaining the story.
Well, he's narrating it.
Yeah. So that's the whole fucking thing.
That's different. That's not a fourth wall break.
I don't know.
But him expressing that, if he expressed that he knew he was in a comic book,
Yeah.
that's a fourth wall break. But him talking to you as a narrator is not.
Yeah.
He's just narrating.
We call it, but I don't know. It seems like a lot of it's gonna because the last page. I give you the first thing. The last page is him half clothed in his uniform with a gun in one hand, a man purse in the other, and wearing nothing but boxers underneath.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It is. It's really good.
And he's standing over a stockpile of weapons.
Yay.
Yeah.
I also don't think that... I think the poor man's Punisher is probably Deathstroke. Because Deathstroke is a Punisher character who literally I've never seen kill anybody. I've only heard about him killing people.
Yeah.
So...
Well, he did the same thing with the Joker.
I know. That's the thing. It's kind of like, does he really cause that much mayhem? Because, I mean, like, until recently, I didn't really ever see any of it.
Panel.
I know. Remember that time that he killed 900 people in a building? No, because I didn't get that comic. When did you see that, Robin? Are you sure that happened? Is that fake news? Like, what's your source? Is that the Onion? Is it the Onion article about him killing 900 people? That would actually be great. Mm-hmm. Is that the Joker has never actually killed anybody? It's all just like hearsay.
Okay, going back to movies, I saw Chips, and it was fucking great, which brought up a question. I addressed it to like my friends on Facebook. I thought about it putting it on the page, but no one ever fucking responds.
Because they don't like you.
Yeah, I don't blame them. We call it, apparently, according to Chips, and I found out the same through my friends, that eating ass is now the handshake of the sexual partner.
Okay.
Well, you've been in the date, like I don't date very much. I do other things. We call it...
which means he masturbates. Just a lot. That's all that means. I do other shit by myself.
Well, no, I mean, like, talking about, like, eating ass is, like, it was never that odd for me. It never seemed taboo, whereas apparently I thought it was for the longest time.
No, I don't... Nah.
But
when did you... Like, to who? Our generation or generation before us?
Generation before us
into
ours.
I don't think ours is like that.
But that was the whole fucking thing is like high school. Say high school and maybe till like 25. I don't remember people ever talking about it.
Well, I don't remember. That's because like what? High school, you don't know what you're doing.
I still ate ass.
Yeah, but like I will say this, like let's say like 70% of the people who ate ass in high school probably like didn't attempt to do it. They just sort of went, this tastes not like what I thought it would, and then they're like, oh no, wrong hole, right?
Didn't bother me.
I'm not saying it bothered you. I'm saying like most people, like if you're asking me why no one talked about it.
I saw it in a porno, so I did it, and
that's what I was just about to say, is because our generation grew up understanding that porn was like the normal way to have sex, right? Like whatever you saw in a porno.
Misunderstanding.
I'm aware. I'm just saying, like, that's what you grew up thinking, right? It was like, oh, the jackhammer. That's like first date. You know what I mean? Like, that's like what you grow up thinking, right?
Yeah.
So like when you're like, okay, first time having sex, you're just going right into the eating the ass thing. And the girl who saw nothing but porn or has no idea is probably just trusting that maybe you know more than she does. Everyone's just going with it. Like, maybe that's why it's like that. But then, like, you feel, maybe they felt ashamed about it. I don't know.
I talked to a 16-year-old friend of my sister's. We call it because he's friends with me on Facebook. And I did not mean this to go to him, but he's like, yeah, this is definitely the first thing. It is, like, literally, like instead of, like, blowjobs or whatever, it's eat the ass. So
is he being serious or is
yes, he is. We call it, that's the whole thing is because my sister's now in college.
I don't know if it's the first thing. I think it happens in the first session.
That's what I mean.
Oh, well, then, yeah, I mean, like, in the first session, yeah. I mean,
it's like, this is what happens before you get a blowjob now.
Really?
Apparently.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Well, wait. Okay, wait. Does he mean that he gets his ass eaten before he gets a blowjob? Or is he saying that he eats ass before he gets a blowjob?
I'm thinking it's both. We call it as in both partners will get their ass eaten first.
No.
I don't know.
No, not for me. I wouldn't. Not for me.
Well, I'm saying for these, we call it.
Well,
like,
no, I'm saying not for me. Like,
it's because I talked to a buddy of mine that's the same age as us, and he's can't be alone. We call it. He just cannot be single.
Okay. Yeah.
We call it. I give him shit constantly.
You give him shit because he's shit.
Yeah. We
you
call
eat ass. There's shit. No.
But we call
everything is coming back to shit.
Yeah, but he dates chicks that are a couple years younger than him. You know, like he's 28 or 29, and most of the girls literally like at most 3 years younger. Because he used to have an issue with dating like chicks that were 18.
Yeah,
we call it just barely legal. But now he's okay because we literally everyone gave him shit. People he didn't know would find out. And
did you pick up your kid? It's like, did you pick up your girlfriend from daycare? Did you give her some juice? Like. Anyway.
My biggest gap was 4 years, and like I felt like just dirty.
Nah.
Yeah.
There's issues with the age thing, but
yeah, we call it. I think it was because I was 23.
No,
or no, not 4 years. I was like, yeah. She was 18, and I was like 22.
The problem with it in this particular age thing, like when you're in your like from 18 to like maybe 30. Or 32 even, like, or whatever, is that there is a huge knowledge and life gap in between each year in your 20s. Like, at 28 right now, I know way more than I did even when I was 27 because of, like, you know, like, that's when you start, like, having to buy insurance for yourself and having to, you know, do all of your own shit.
Yeah.
Like, your mom can't set up doctor's appointments for you anymore. You have to pay rent. You have to pay, you know, you start actually being a functioning member of society. And you learn at such a curve that, like, the difference between a 28-year-old and a 24-year-old is massive. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it's not, like math-wise.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? But, like,
that's the thing.
Life-wise, it's pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, we call it, like, I could see, like, I remember looking at a guy I worked for. He was 29. Like, thinking, like, he was an adult.
Yeah.
We call it, like, you know, it's like, and now looking back, I am way more of an adult than he was at that time. So,
but,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's before any of that shit, at least for me, but.
I don't know.
I think it's not taboo at all.
Yeah.
I think that it's completely a normal practice.
That's what, like,
and I think, but the problem is that you could never convince me that anything is before anything else because that's a personal preference. If you're talking about what's taboo and like what is it that people like do and don't talk about, no, it's totally not. Like that, you could totally openly talk about that. If that's what you're talking about,
what was it?
I think that eating ass is like a totally normal thing now.
Is it Purple Wings was the biker for eating out a dead chick?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That's still probably not something you want to talk about in open conversation. But I mean,
I didn't know she was dead at the time.
I had just strangled her. I thought she was okay. No, but like, But I mean, yeah, like if you're talking about is it taboo anymore? No,
No.
I don't think anything's taboo anymore, really.
Yeah, I mean, you can always find someone to talk about, too, about anything.
I think things that were not considered taboo are starting to become weird for people. Like the cheerleader outfit thing. I know so many people, like myself included, actually, with this, where it's like, that's really weird because when I think of a cheerleader, I think of like a 15-year-old. And that's really weird for me. Where it's like, why would you want like a girl to dress up like somebody who's underage?
That's just it is like I never really had that. I never had the cheerleader thing or anything like that.
No, but that wasn't taboo, right?
No.
But I feel like more people are talking about things like that less because there's a little bit of a backlash against like the imagery of stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that I think this age is open incredibly sexually. Like I don't really think there's much that people won't talk about unless they're trying to gross you out or be like weird. I don't think that there's a lot of stuff that people do that they probably would be ashamed to talk about.
I'm trying to think if we have anything else on our list or if we've killed it all.
Oh
yeah, we call it. There's a movie that we just watched a trailer for. I watched it this morning, and then you watched it a little bit ago. Is the Hitman's Bodyguard?
Yeah, the thing with Ryan Gosling and Samuel.
No, Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. I'm sorry. What did I say? That's not even a person, is it?
Ryan Gosling is a
Is
person.
it Ryan?
Is it?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is it Ryan Gosling? Because I'm not sure if it's Ryan Gosling. I know that he's a real person. I know Gosling is a real thing. But anyway, the point is it looks funny.
Ryan Gosling.
Okay, good. It looks good. It looks funny. But it doesn't look funny because of Sam Jackson. It actually looks funny because of Reynolds. Like when he goes out of the car, he's like, "Are you serious? What the shit?"
Well, that's the whole thing is he's the we call it. It's supposed to be he's the straight lace snapping.
Well, it looks like they infer that he can kick his ass.
Yeah.
Right? Like
or it'd be at least even.
Yeah.
Going.
So like it does. It looks interesting. I just hope that it's. I just want nice guys too.
Well, it's the whole thing is you have the shield and sword duking it out, but they have to work together.
Yeah, but that's my whole thing is that it reminded me of the nice guys, kind of,
or losers.
Yeah, it's something. It has that kind of vibe to it, right?
Was it the Nice Guys?
The Nice Guys, yeah. That's the one with Clooney and is that Reynolds again? No, that's Gosling.
That's
Gosling.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of another one because there's the Losers with what's his name that played Captain America. We call it, but there's another one, The Throwaways. That was a Crackle movie. That was really good too.
Yeah. But I'm interested to see it. I'm going to see.
I'm going to watch The Throwaways again.
So when's John Wick 3 coming?
I haven't a clue.
What about the Raid 3? When's that coming?
Isn't the American version supposed to be made
first? Don't give a shit. I'm not. That's whitewashing. And on that note, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you all. Oh wait, I have to do our thing.
What thing?
The Patreon thing, and we have a new place that we're doing. I almost fucked this up.
Oh yeah, are we still putting episodes?
No, I'm going to put them completely on Spreaker. So we have a new home because it's better, and we can do a bunch of things.
To it.
Yeah. So, like, if you guys this is where you guys can follow us. You can do a bunch of different things on here. It super helps us. But every new episode will go through here. And obviously on our page, you can connect to all of the places like iTunes and different things that we appear on as well. Just Spreaker.com, and I believe it's just Spreaker.com/illogicaluniverse. So, but you've just been linked to it. So just hit the follow button on our page. We're actually considering putting out a mobile app just for our show. So be on the lookout for that. And so thank you guys. That's it. That should be it. Patreon.com/illogicaluniverse if you want to donate $1 to us.
Are we going to play Oregon Trail?
Yeah, we're going to do that as a Patreon exclusive.
But can we do it now?
No, I don't have time.
Oh.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you guys next week.